Hello and welcome back to another vlogmas. And this is not going to be a happy vlogmas, but it is part of the reality of people who grieve. And I can't always hide all my thoughts and emotions, and maybe it's gonna help some people realize that it's normal to actually have these thoughts, and to not always enjoy the holidays, because you cannot always forget what happened in the past and try to just be in the moment. Sometimes you have all these memories coming back to you, no matter if it's Christmas, if it's your birthday, if it's a normal day. And it happened to me as well. So this is gonna be my first Christmas without my mom, and for me this month has been very difficult, and I just try to take one day at a time and go over it. I love Christmas, but the fact that my mom is not here with me to celebrate is just breaking my heart, and it's just something new, because she always used to come here after I moved to the UK. She always used to come here either before Christmas or after or on Christmas, whenever we could meet. But she was here in December, and this is the first December when she's not gonna be around because she died this summer. It is very difficult because I do miss her a lot, and this Christmas doesn't feel like Christmas anymore, and I do not have plans. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, and it sucks to not have a family to go back to celebrate. And I think you feel it even more just because everyone is so joyful and focused on the family. And sorry, this is gonna be an emotional video. But from the advent calendar where I was eating these chocolates and all these boxes were like spend time with your family, and then I eat another chocolate, and behind that door it was saying, oh, say your mother you love her, and things like this, which was very emotional. So that advent calendar kept on reminding me about my grief every single morning, instead of actually forgetting and try to enjoy my day. And and then all the other friends going home to celebrate and see their family, and me not being able to do that. I feel like I'm just left by myself outside of the circle. Yeah, it's very difficult, and I still love Christmas and New Year's. It's so different, and it just doesn't feel right, and probably I'm gonna get used to that, but right now it's some difficult time for me, and I'm trying to find out how it is to celebrate a Christmas without your loved one, your mother, your father, your sister, your partner, whoever that is. It's just hard to celebrate Christmas, the first Christmas without them, and maybe the future ones as well, I don't know. That aside, one second so I can recover. Someone posted this on one of the grief groups I am part of, and she's explaining how the first months and first year felt for her. And I was reading through that 4 days ago, and the more I read, the more I found myself in it. And many of those things I was like, oh, I saw that something wrong with me, but it seems to be so common for so many people. And it's like how you feel after someone you love dies. And I don't know, I just wanted to read this out loud on this vlog, just because I feel like it's so real, and it touched me so much. So hopefully it's gonna touch other people who maybe doesn't have access to that. And I just thought it helped me personally, so I hope it's gonna help other people as well. Before that though, I have this kind of jumper, which is a bit Christmassy, and I love this one because one of the years when my mother came to my place in London, she stayed at home when I went to work, and she was like, what can I do? What can I do at home while you're away, because I'm gonna get bored. And then I was like, oh, you know, I bought this cheap sweater and these pom-poms online. Can you maybe try to sew them on, because I want to show, to go to my office for the Christmas day with the Christmas jumper on, but I didn't have one, so I wanted to do like a handmade one. So while I was at work, she sewed all this on, and it's like, it's one of those things, you know, that you have good memories from, and you feel closer to that person, you know, because they've done it for you, and it's like one of the last things you have from them. And I thought it's the perfect day to wear it, because I'm emotional, I miss her, and I'm also gonna talk about her. And then, you know, I also love this thing for Christmas, but I just couldn't wear it because I become emotional. So yeah, I decided to wear it for the video. So that's, I'm really happy I could, I'm really happy I have it, basically. Anyway, let's go to this article. Well, article, not article, a post. It's a post on a griefing group. So it's a post on a grief group by someone who's lost their mother 6 years ago, and she's giving you like all the kind of phases she went through in that first, you know, year, in the first months. So I'm gonna go through all the points one by one and then add my comments to it. So the first few days after their death, you are floating like it's a dream. You cannot grasp the concept. It's surreal. And that is true, and that was true even before she died. I was even on the phone with a friend, and I was telling her, this isn't happening, it just feels like my head was so blurry. And it's such a strange feeling, because even you cannot control it, and it's one of those feelings when you're very sure, it's like almost 90% sure that you are not alive and what you're going through, it's a dream. And it's a very dangerous phase, because for example, I wasn't paying attention where I was walking, I was crossing the road without checking, everything is so blurry, so you cannot focus on the actions that you usually do, and you're not as careful because everything feels like you're literally floating. And I have never experienced that before, and it's, I hope I will never will. It's such a weird feeling, like, and no matter how much I wanted to come out of it, I just couldn't, and you just have to go through it. And you know, you keep on telling yourself, oh no, I'm just gonna wake up and this is gonna be all over, and it's part of the denial stage. And you know, it's not, I mean, even now I'm not, it's been, so on 22nd it's gonna be 6 months since my mother passed away, and I still have moments when I'm like, less than before, but I had moments when I'm like thinking, oh, this is just a simulation, this is not real, this cannot be my life, it's just a bad dream, it's a simulation, I'm gonna be better when I wake up, or, you know. And you have those, like, your life change suddenly and drastically, and it's not making sense anymore. So nothing makes sense anymore, and yet you need to go through that and find a new life, basically, and that's very difficult. And that's what she said, like, she's saying, literally take it minute by minute, hour by hour, those first few weeks, just survive. And that's pretty much what I was doing, and I'm still doing. I'm just waiting for every 1 hour to go by, and especially in the beginning, I just waited every hour, every day to go by, and you know, make sure I eat and make sure I keep myself healthy and make sure I go to sleep, but without having a purpose, without enjoying it. Just I kept telling myself, just do this, tomorrow will be better. And maybe tomorrow will not be better, but it's the only thing that can keep you going, and the only thing that can keep you sane. So that's pretty much what happened. And I'm still doing that because I am trying to buy a flat and it's taking so long. And I feel like until I have this flat, my life is on pause and I cannot actually focus on my mental health, because I'm living in this one. It's very crowded, it's very small. I don't have any friends in the area. It's very far from the city, and I'm not happy here, and I just want to move in the new place and buy my own things and invest in that place and find activities like dyeing the walls, just something to keep me occupied and happy. And until then, I feel like I just need to survive, because I know that at that point when I have the flat, that's when I can work on my mental health. But for now, there's nothing that can motivate me enough to enjoy my life. So I'm just trying to take day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, and survive until I move in, and then I can actually start working on myself more. Brain fog. Seriously. Remembering things, completing tasks, concentrating, critical thinking, physical coordination all went out the door for about 3 months. Also, car accidents in my family went up. Studies show people are more likely to be in a car accident following the loss of a loved one because your reflexes are so delayed. I mean, no one actually has been in a car accident and not driving, so fortunately that was not the case. But brain fog is a lot more serious than I ever thought. And that's also part of the dreaming process, where if you're dreaming even though you're living, and you cannot tell the difference between dream and real life. But then also things like remembering things, completing tasks. So I only had 2 weeks of holiday before I came back and started working. And actually 5 days, it's something that they gave me as for losing my parent, and then I had to take 5 more days because I had to travel through 3 different countries to finish with everything and then come back here where my office is. And it's my manager is really focused on my personal achievement, and he wanted me to present this Brownback session, and he kept pushing me onto that. And at some point I couldn't hold it into me anymore, and I said, I apologize, I don't think I'm capable of actually doing a presentation in front of so many people right now, because I cannot function. And I don't know if he understood what I meant, so I don't think he believed me, and I couldn't really explain to him. He probably thought I was trying to escape from presenting, but I was such a mess, and I still am, and I'm still kind of forced to do that Brown session in in January, so next month, and I still don't feel like I can do it, but he thinks that he's pushed it enough, and I don't think people take this seriously enough, because I'm still messed up. It was way worse before, I agree. So in the first 3 months, I think it was the worst. In the sense that I would go into a room and I would be like, what am I doing here? Why did I even come here? And then I never remembered the reason of me going into that room. Or, I had meetings and I didn't turn up for the meetings because I forgot that I have meetings, and I was starting a sentence and I couldn't finish the sentence because I couldn't remember what I wanted to say. And it's so bad that it's almost like Alzheimer, and you're thinking, what is wrong with me? Sometimes I cannot even speak. And you're thinking, what's happened to me? But it's just because you have this, your brain is not thinking logically anymore, you're not rational. And it's because, I guess it's kind of linked with the brain fog and PTSD, and you know, this dreamlike state where you cannot comprehend that this is the real life, and you cannot focus on your daily tasks as much as you did before. You just cannot function normally. It's like you're broken. It's like a car you need to fix because something went wrong with it. And as I said, I'm better now, but I still had many times when I say something and then I forget about what I was supposed to do or what I was about to say. And even friends are asking, like, are making fun, saying, "Oh, are you okay? You having Alzheimer's?" Things like that. And I'm like, I cannot even explain to myself why this is happening. Like, I'm trying to improve, but you know, it's taking time and I cannot control that. But I totally agree with this, and I don't think people realize how bad this is. It's underrated. Anyway, I think this is important because if you ever have someone who's been through this and you want to help them, take this into consideration. Don't make fun if they forget things, if they don't show up on time, if they're angry all the time, if, you know, they are not careful with their surroundings. Because this is all part of grieving and, you know, dealing with a dramatic event in your life. So I always say try to help them. Try to, you know, write some notes to help them remember things, or try to help them organize, or, you know, remember what they had to do or what they had to buy, or help them with work if it's possible. But don't take it lightly. You will look around at strangers and wonder why they aren't crying. Then you remember it's your world that just fell apart, but the rest of the world keeps moving all around you like nothing happened. And I fully understand that point. And again, I hate myself for that. So I am at the point where I'm thinking, how can I live with myself? Because I feel so damaged and I feel like I'm such a mean person now. And not intentional, it's just because I'm just envious and jealous of other people, and I wish I was still one of them. And I don't understand why it's me that had to go through that. So that kind of changed my perspective on others and my friends, and it's also making me more of an angry person, because I get angry at the smaller things, and I'm trying to work on that again, but it's difficult because you always think, oh, this is not fair, and you expect some people to understand that. Okay, that got me a bit, so I became a bit emotional. I had to take a break to recover. But yes, I've been seeing friends and I was getting annoyed at the smallest things, like, you know, friends who asked me to go meet somewhere and they were late. Now I was getting annoyed that they are late. Or friends who don't reply to my messages and they just ignore me, because I'm thinking, I thought you're here for me, why don't you reply when I need you? And you're becoming very clingy on people and you expect a lot more from them, and it's not normal and it's not healthy, and you know that's not okay. But then you cannot, I cannot function and I don't know who I am anymore. And sorry, there was a fly. And I regret most of the things I say or do at the minute, and I hate myself, but then there's nothing I can do because you're just changed, you know. Like, I don't think I can ever be the same happy, cheerful person that, you know, organized all the events and cheered all the people around her. I don't think I'm ever gonna be the same, and it's hard because some people don't get that, and they don't get that I've changed. So even when I went on a trip, which I had to organize even though it wasn't my idea, so that really annoyed me because I was really busy with work, and at the moment I cannot multitask. And even before I was organizing trips, and I'm known for organizing and planning trips, that doesn't mean that, I mean, I felt bad that my friends were still pushing for me to do the planning for their ideas when I'm in this condition. And even though I'm smiling when I am with them, I don't think they want to talk about this, and they don't want to spend time with a sad person who's depressed all the trip. So it's getting very difficult to be normal, but then, you know, you have those society standards where you have to smile and you have to behave like normal, and then at the smallest thing they become angry with you because they don't understand what's wrong with you. So I went in this trip, and after I organized the trip, this friend was saying that the place where we went sucks, and, you know, he doesn't like the trip, and next time he's gonna do it better. And I got very defensive at that point because I was like, I didn't want to go on this trip, I didn't want to plan it, and I didn't want to even spend the money on the train because I'm trying to buy something and I need those money. And, you know, the fact that I put all that energy, which is not much left energy, not much energy left in me anyway from a day-to-day basis. So the fact I put most of my energy into planning this, and him complaining the whole trip that it sucks, it just made me very annoyed. I was like, how about to just do it next time and go by yourself? And he was like, yeah, I will do it. And then that, I don't know, that really affected me on that day. Like, it ruined my whole trip. I was like, I don't even think I want to go on trips with friends anymore because I don't have the energy to do it. And then I also don't have the patience to deal with those sort of people anymore because they don't understand I'm a ticking bomb. And it's not their fault, it's just they've never been through this situation. But for me, it's very hard to do that. And if they cannot understand that I've changed and, you know, they need to be more careful because I'm very sensitive, then I would rather not spend time with them and protect myself if they cannot protect me. And then also, I am very jealous of people. I think my battery is gonna die. I am very jealous of people speaking with their mom or talking about their parents or visiting their parents, and even people who have older parents like in their 70s, 80s, because my mom died when she was 56. And I'm like, why? And it's such a mean thing to say, but I'm like, why is yours living so much and mine died? Like, why do you have another 20, 30 years old? Or why did you have? Because I have older friends as well. Why did you have another 30 years with your mom and I didn't? I feel robbed. I feel like, I just feel it's unfair. And of course I'm becoming jealous, and sometimes if they speak with their mom when I'm around, I just become very emotional, so I try to leave the area and come back when they finish because I don't hate them, I just hate that I don't have my mom anymore. And it's hard to spend time with people who still have, and it's even harder when they complain about their mom, like, oh, she's bothering me again, or oh, she wants me to go back home for Christmas. And I'm like, man, you're so lucky. Like, you know, you should really value the ones you love when they are still around, because when it's too late, I have so many regrets. Like, I didn't even have time to do so many things with her. I thought I'll have longer. I didn't see cancer coming. And I kept on saying, oh, I'm gonna do that when I have more money. I'm gonna book a trip for us when I have more time, when I have more holiday, when I have more money. And I kept delaying it, and it never happened in the end, because when I had what I needed, it was too late. So I would say just try to be with them and there with them if you can, and try to do everything you plan to do together despite all the sacrifices you need to do. You will dream about them. I would cry while I was asleep and wake up covered in tears. Yes, that happens quite a lot even now. I didn't dream her as much in the beginning. I dream her more now, but it's not like they come back to me to say goodbye. It's more like nightmares. Like I see her dying all over again and all over again, and accidents and diseases, and it's like a chain which I cannot break. And even when I was sleeping with my friend, I woke up crying during the night. I don't know how to stop these nightmares, and it's like I cannot move away from it. The first 5 seconds after you wake up, you will forget that they are gone, and then it hits you, the reality, and you will feel the most intense pain for a few moments while you remember what happened. This happens every day for a couple months. And it's strange because sometimes I have a nightmare of her dying and I wake up knowing she died in real life as well. And there are times when I sleep very well and I wake up and indeed it takes a few seconds to hit me that, oh, it's not my normal life. It's not a dream. It actually happened. My mom died. And it's happening pretty much every morning. It's like, if you don't have the nightmare to remember, to remind yourself that she died, you will realize in the first few seconds of the morning, and it's hitting you as it hit you the first time. It's like, oh, that wasn't a dream, because it feels like a dream for a few seconds. It's like, oh, that was all a dream. And then you realize it's not a dream. It's a reality. And you have to go through this every single morning. And it's really exhausting. I think half of my energy goes in waking up knowing that she's no longer living. The funeral, maybe the second hardest day of your life. I felt like I had the flu for a week after her funeral. I was done. I think for me it was a bit different. She suffered for so long that the fact that I did not see her in pain, it's strange to say this, but the fact that she died and she was no longer in pain was somehow easier than seeing her in pain all the time and vomiting non-stop and feeling sick, because that was... And I am back. So my camera died there for a second. It should be half charged now, so hopefully I can carry on with this. But that's good because I was becoming too emotional. So I was left saying that I kind of felt a bit relieved that she is no longer in pain. And somehow it was less difficult for her and more difficult for me, because I was like, at least she's not the one suffering, it's just me, and I'm strong enough to deal with this. You won't want to live. It's not that you want to die, but you just don't want to live in a world where they don't. Also, you don't want to feel the pain anymore. And this is exactly how I'm trying to explain to people, because they think I'm suicidal and like, please let me know if you have any intention to do it. And I'm trying to explain to them, I don't want to kill myself despite life being so difficult and not seeing joy in it right now. But it's just, you don't want to live because it's hard, but you don't want to die. It's just, I don't know how to even explain that feeling. It's just, it feels like life does not have a meaning. And I think I want to try to make it work, but at the moment it's very difficult. And I know at some point I will find happiness again, and I'll carry on with my life. But right now, that's the feeling I have, and I guess many other people have from what I see. The physical pain of grief feels like an ache in the center of your body, a soul ache. It's very uncomfortable, and later found out that you can use Tylenol or Motrin to help with the physical pain, and it works. So use it. Maybe that's some advice. I'm not using any tablets, any antidepressants. I'm trying to not use anything, just deal with it and try to deal with it for the future. But it literally feels like you were hit by a train where my heart, where your heart is, where my heart is. It's such a big pain, and it feels worse than any other physical pain. And there's nothing, I mean, apparently it is, but so far I thought there's nothing that can actually stop it. And usually when I feel that pain, I just sit down and I try to do some breathing exercises to kind of calm down and make it less painful, which sometimes helps, or even going for a walk just to relax a bit. Alcohol took me to a bad place. I drank and nearly killed myself. It wasn't good. It took me about 6 months before I allowed myself to drink. I also didn't allow pills or guns near me. I didn't trust my grief and pain. Rational thinking takes a back seat when you're in a dark place. Kind of true. I used to drink wine every evening for about 2-3 weeks. A few months ago. I am very health. I like to promote health, so I was trying to be a very healthy person. I'm trying to eat very less meat. I'm trying to not drink alcohol. And I'm not smoking, and I never had. And I like to promote healthy living, but I was in such a bad place, and my mind was in such a bad place that I found out that wine helped me forget about all the nightmares for a few minutes and maybe allow myself to dance to a song or to just smile when I watch a movie or be normal for a few minutes and feel like everything was just a bad dream and this is my world and I can just allow myself to be normal for a few minutes. And I kind of became addicted to that feeling, so I used to drink a glass of wine, if not more, every single evening for about 2-3 weeks when I realized that's not good. So I would rather just deal with the pain than, go this way. So I stopped myself and I'm trying to drink less often now. So once a week, once 2 weeks, whenever I see someone maybe. But since then I didn't buy alcohol anymore to have in my home because, if I don't have it, I won't drink it. So, as she's saying, I'm trying to keep away from all the bad addictions. But I see where it's coming from. The mind actually goes into survival mode and you start to disconnect and become numb. This is very common. It's a well-studied phenomenon that shows the brain protects you from intense shock. The brain slowly lets you feel the trauma and magnitude of the loss. This takes about a year. Completely agree. I feel the same. I feel like I'm in a survival mode, so I'm just trying to eat to not die. I'm trying to keep myself from thinking bad thoughts. I'm trying to keep myself away from addictions. I'm trying to make activities and see friends just so I can try to appear normal and try to feel normal now and then. But it's all kind of a show for myself because I'm trying to make myself cope with the situation. And I feel everything is like very survival. Like I need to get out of the house on Saturday because that's what people do and that's what healthy to do. It's not because I want to. Like all I want to do on a Saturday and Sunday after I work 5 days a week is to go in bed and sleep under the cover for the rest of the weekend and not know that I leave. I just want to stay there. I don't want to know what's happening outside. I don't want to know what's happening with my neighbors, with my building, with my friends. I don't want to know anything. I just want to go under the cover and spend my weekend there and sleep. Because sleep is the only time if I don't have nightmares when I don't realize what's happening. But then my survival mode comes in and it's like, nope, you worked 5 days, you didn't go outside for 5 days, you need to go outside. So I'm putting my clothes on and I'm just going for like 1 hour, 2 hour walks, just so I can refresh myself and try to function more normally. The easiest emotion to grasp onto during a traumatic loss is anger. Of the stages of grief, anger is the one most people feel for a long time. I was angry for years, still am. Yeah, angry at everything. Angry that my friends don't understand me, angry that my ex and also current boyfriend is not always understanding me, angry that people complain about the smallest things, like a queue at the supermarket, angry about the fact that they complain about their parents. I'm angry 21 hours out of 24 hours a day. Okay, maybe let's say when I'm sleeping I'm not angry, but if I'm awake 20 hours a day, I'm probably angry like 17, 18 hours a day. I'm angry at work. I'm starting to raise my voice much often. I'm angry when I sell things on eBay and I get people coming back saying, you're rude, because they don't know my perspective and they don't know my circumstances. And I can see more and more people saying that to me, you're rude or you're mean, you don't have to be this person. No, just to keep it in polite terms. And it's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so mean? Why can you not reply more nicely? Why can you not be more cheerful and polite like before? Why don't you say thank you? Why don't you say please? All these things, like so many people tell me that I'm very ready to explode. And many friends are actually scared to even speak with me because, whenever they say something, I'm like, that's not gonna help me. What you're saying is not helpful. And I'm like a total B. But I cannot hold myself on the spot. When I become angry, I cannot hold that anger in me like I used to before. And, pretend it didn't happen. Now I just express it because I don't think I have the energy to hold that feeling into me because I'm already full of it. I'm full of hatred, I'm full of angriness. And if something is coming to me suddenly into my face, I'm just gonna express it directly without even thinking. And I'm gonna regret it after that, after I say it out loud. But on the spot, I cannot control my emotion anymore. And I hate myself. I'm becoming a very hard to deal with person. And I can see that affecting so many people right now and so many of my friends and relationships. And many are like, why don't you make new friends? And I'm like, I don't have the energy. I don't have the mood for it. Like, I'm gonna be the same person. I'm gonna have the same level of angriness in me. I'm just gonna snap at people. And sometimes I'm not even seeing friends because I don't want to snap at them. So I'm trying to protect them from me. And it's not something I can control. The 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, depression, bargaining, acceptance, are not linear. You don't finish one and go to the next. You jump around back and forth between them for the rest of your life. One day you will accept it, then the next day you're back in anger and depression. True. I have days when I'm feeling better and I'm thinking, oh, I'm not that sad today. And I'm feeling days when I have days when I'm feeling this is the worst day. And I just start crying on a train, in the supermarket, wherever I am. You become resentful of people who still have their parents. Yes, I covered that. You grieve the loss of your future with them. All the things they still had left to do with you. Wedding, kids, holidays, vacations, etc. Yes, I hate holidays now. I hate my birthday. And people expect me to be happy and joyful. And they always say, oh, I hope you have a nice holiday. And I say, well, I don't think I can. It's like they don't understand why. It's like, oh, it's been a long time ago, you just need to, you know, enjoy the holiday. But it's not like a hat. I cannot just take it off. I cannot take my grief off and be like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna put it in the corner of the room and then not wear it for the next 5 hours. No, it's like it's glued to me. I cannot take that hat off and I cannot control it. It's difficult, and I think it's worse. Holidays and birthdays are worse because that's when you spend most of the time with them, and that's when you feel the loss the most. So holidays are shit, and I'm just trying to deal and find activities to keep myself entertained, because if I was doing what I want to do and stay in bed all day, I'll probably just cry and be depressed, and I don't want to become a shadow. I want to recover, and I'm trying that, but yes, it's difficult. There are two versions of you, two different lives, the one before they died and the one after. The person you were before they died is gone. Exactly what I said. It's literally a line in the sand, a before and after, pre-death and post-death. It's when you realize your life will never be the same. So exactly what I was saying, if people expect me to be the same person I was before, the same cheerful Diana, you know, the one who's always organizing, planning, the one who's coming with all these brilliant ideas, or, you know, it's happy at the parties, etc. I'm never gonna be the same. I will never be the same person. And you know, people are like, just go to therapy. Sounds like you're depressed, and I'm like, yes, I am depressed. I will be depressed no matter if I go to therapy or not. And if you think logically, there is no way to replace a person who died. So it's not like something you can replace with time. You lost that thing forever. You know you're never gonna get it back for the entirety of your remaining life. So of course you're gonna mourn that. Of course you're gonna feel that. And it's not even for months, it's forever. That thing is not coming back. Never. So you're gonna live with that. It's not gonna go away. It's not gonna suddenly disappear. It's not, unless they bring it back, unless they bring my mom back to see her because I miss her, nothing is gonna take that grief away. So basically, it's also, you can think of it this way. There's people who miss their family alive when they are alive. So for example, I have many friends in UK with family in Romania, and I always hear them saying, oh, I haven't been home for 1 year, I haven't been home for 2 years. They have regular video calls, they have regular normal phone calls, but yet they still miss the interaction of physical touch with those people. So if those persons miss the physical touch when they are able to see and hear them, imagine how you or they would feel if they cannot even hear them or see them, not even thinking of the physical touch. And that's how people have to think of it. If you have someone you miss right now, imagine not being able to reach that person, to tell that person something. And that's for life. It's not 1 year, it's not 2 years, it's not 5 years, it's not 10 years. It's for the rest of your life. So if you're wondering why someone is not going over grief with or without therapy, with or without tablets, it's not because they have a problem. It's because they really miss that person and there is no way to actually get in touch with that person. And everyone will do the same if they have someone they care about. So it's just normal. And it hurts me when people, and my my friends and family don't understand that I'm not having a mental problem, even though if you talk about it, maybe I do, but it's that desire to be with them again, which nothing can fix it and nothing can replace it. And it's understandable from that point of view why I am the way I am, and why I will not be better in 1 month, I will not be better in 2 months, I will not be better in 1 year. I'm pretty much gonna be the same, but more used to not having that person around. Sleep, the only real relief. The exhaustion the first year was unreal. I was told to treat my body like I was recovering from chemo. Best advice, my body was recovering from shock. Took about a year. The only way out is through. Keep walking through the pain day after day. I promise you can do it. I do it. If I can do it, you can do it as well. So I hope this helped, persons who've been through this before realize that it's normal to be that way. And even with the holidays coming, if you have a party or if you have family reunion, if you feel like you want to go somewhere and cry, just do it. If you feel like you're pushing too much to be happy and appear cheerful, just don't do that. It's normal, you're human, and none of us is perfect. And the fact that we are actually feeling all these feelings is because we care. Like, if we wouldn't feel grief, we would just not be humans. And for those who support people grieving, I hope this is also useful to try and understand them more. And I think the best thing is try not to give them advice. I hate when my friends are trying to give me advice. I understand they have good intentions, but if they can understand my point of view fully, I would prefer to not have advice on that, especially if they didn't go through the situation. Because so many people are telling me to do certain things which I'm not comfortable with, and personally I know inside me are not going to help me, and I know how to fix myself, and I'm trying to apply that in my life. And then, when you work so hard in finding what is good for you and you do that, and then people come and put you down, like, I don't think that's helping you should do this instead, it's not helping in any bit, it's just making it worse. So if that person can deal with it, just ask them how they can deal with it, what they think it's helping them. Don't try to push something on them. Try to find what, how they cope with this and what they do to cope with this situation, and try to help them from that perspective. But again, thank you again for watching my video, and I don't know if I'm gonna post another video before Christmas. I might post before New Year's, as I have some activities coming up. But if I'm not posting again, I hope you have some Merry Christmas. Well, if not Merry, another Christmas, and that you find something to do, and hopefully we're gonna have a better year next year. Take care, everyone.